If you're a fan of softball, then you are going to love the Fastpitch TV show sponsored by Easton Sports. Now the man that knows more about softball than anyone on the planet, your host, Gary Leland.
Hello, it's Tara. Welcome to the Fastpitch TV show. If you're watching us on YouTube, MySpace, Facebook, or any other video sharing website, please check out our website at fastpitch.tv. It's the place where you can find all of our past episodes and the place to keep you up on our future episodes. I would also like to thank our sponsor, Easton Sports. The truth is there's a difference. The difference is Easton. You can check out their website at eastonsoftball.com. The National Fastpitch Coaches Association just finished their national convention in Nashville, Tennessee. Gary was there filming interviews for you. Today we are going to show you another interview from this convention. This week's interview is the one of the greatest hitters of all times, Crystl Bustos.
Crystal, I appreciate you coming on the show with us today. I've been trying to get this interview for a long time, but I haven't asked you but once, and you said yes, so I appreciate it. Tell me, what's it like being a coach now?
It's definitely a different end of the game, being on the other side of the lines now. And being in the office at the Akron Racer Stadium and working with Joey Arrieta and our other co-owner Craig, you know, it's a different part of the game. You know, I'm learning a little bit more about how things are behind the scenes and the whole drafting with the pro league and all that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to the season.
Is there anything that's happened so far that you can say, I didn't expect that, or?
No, I mean, it's all a learning experience. I mean, I wasn't expecting any of it, you know. I mean, it kind of happened last minute. Joey asked me to be the head coach of the team, and so, you know, I was thinking I was at the end of my career. I'm ready to move on and get into the other part of the game and do some coaching, and I think we've always had a pretty good team, and I think I can help the Akron team, you know, win another championship.
Let's go back a little ways for our fans that are watching. You've got a lot of fans who want to know more about you. They don't get that many opportunities. How old were you when you started playing softball?
Oh, I actually played baseball first. So I was 3 years old when I got a bat and ball and a glove, and was playing baseball till I was about 10 or 11 years old, and that's when I transferred over to softball.
And what made you decide to switch?
There was actually a contest held by the Dodgers and Coca-Cola. It was called the Triple Threat. And that's how I got started. You threw a ball, you hit a ball, you ran the bases, and, you know, the top ones went and finally played at Dodger Stadium, and, you know, I won that whole thing, and it was fun. And my dad was like, you know, girls have to play softball in high school. You're not going to be able to play baseball. And I'm like, well, he goes, yeah, and if you want to go to college, you got to play softball. And I'm like, he goes, I think it's time that we get you into softball. And so that's when I transferred over.
Was your dad like your coach to start with, or?
My dad was one of my coaches, and my coach that actually helped me a lot growing up was my Uncle Jesse, you know, and he helped me get to where I'm at now, and he was around for the first Olympics, and he passed away a little bit after that, and so it's been hard, you know, keep going on with my career, but I found coaches and other hitting instructors that, you know, I've been able to use that really understand my swing. You know, Ken Erickson's been a good help, you know, with the Olympic team and helping me with my swing because he's seen me play in college with me being in Florida, and with hitting, you know, I have a hitting coach in Cincinnati named Howard Carrier. He's been with me for the last 9 years, you know, after my uncle passed away, and he's helped me a lot with, you know, my hitting. So I've been lucky and fortunate enough to be introduced and meet people that could definitely help me keep my career going.
Now, even from a beginning age, I saw pictures of you the other day on your select team, but y'all were winning like major stuff. I mean, you've always been on championship teams, I guess. Yeah,
growing up, I mean, I was able to be on a team to learn everything. You know, my first team was the Shilohs, and we didn't really win much, but we definitely learned a lot of heart and team camaraderie, and, like, you know, give it everything you got regardless of the outcome. And then as we got better, you know, our team was on the bat. I was on the Bat Busters, which was one of your more premier teams, and, you know, I played for the Panthers. We ended up creating the Panthers Gold team when I was on the 16 under team. So, you know, we've been lucky and fortunate to play around. I've been around a lot of good players, you know, and our teams have been, you know, good enough to make it to the championships or either win a championship. So, you know, I was lucky enough to learn all aspects, how to be humbled and how to enjoy some winning, you know.
Now, if I remember correctly, well, let me rephrase this. Most people know of you as being a power hitter, and you've been called the Babe Ruth of softball. But if I remember correctly, when we interviewed you on the Fastpitch radio show, you told me you started off as a slapper.
Yeah, I was a lefty slapper when I was little. I was probably 100 pounds my freshman year of high school. So, like, I can tell kids, you know, I've been able to hit in every shape and form, you know, and so that's how I think I can be able to help a lot of kids and do what I do now.
Now, I have another question about the Olympics. This is something I really, I've asked a couple of people who were there, but they didn't partake in it. So when the Olympics were over last time, a bunch of you ladies put your cleats at home base.
Yeah.
Was that all worked out, or did that just kind of happen?
No, I mean, it was something that I was ready to do. I'd been thinking about it for pretty much half the season, and knew that it was going to be my last turn to wear the U.S. uniform, and I was ready to walk away. I mean, I had a pretty good career, and I felt like, it was time for me to go and pass the torch on to the younger generation.
And then hopefully they can keep up with what you've done.
Hopefully they can keep up with what the USA softball tradition has been. I mean, not just myself, but, Dot and Sheila and Lisa and, Michelle Venturella and all the other greats that were behind me and that I got a chance to play with. You can't go wrong. Michelle Smith is obviously one of the great ambassadors for our sport and a great person. And, I was lucky enough to be able to play with a lot of them.
Speaking of Dot, is she like the most excited person you ever met in your life?
She was my roommate for a couple of years, and Dot is like that every day. She's awesome.
I talked to her yesterday, and when I got through, I said, you were probably the most excited person I've ever talked to.
She's a great person and a great ambassador for our sport.
Now, is there anything being a coach that you could say to young coaches starting off their select teams, just getting to go in, that might be a good tip that they may say, hey, thanks for letting me know that?
Just be able to, one, make everything measurable and observable when you're teaching. Kids got to be to understand it, and they want to know why. They want all the information you can get to them, and be a coach that actually, steps into every occasion, every coaches convention, every opportunity that they can to learn. Don't be a coach that goes, oh yeah, I do that. Oh yeah, I do that. Because there's something that you might get from any coach that you ever run into, any player that you ever run into, and always keep adding to your game. One thing Coach Condrea said a long time ago to me was, the minute you stop learning should be the minute that you walk away.
That's a good point. That's a real good point. That probably goes through everything in life.
Yeah,
no matter what you're doing.
I agree.
Yeah. And now, how about for a young player who's starting out on the team? Anything you really say to them that might be a good tip for them?
Yeah. All I can tell you is, at the end of the day, there's no one else to blame but yourself for something you do or do not achieve in life. And I mean that in softball and in life. You can point fingers as much as you want, but you can take the choice to train, you can take the choice to learn, you can take the choice to walk away from school or actually study in school. No one makes you do anything, you make choices, and hopefully you make the good ones.
Okay, now one more thing from you. Can you give us, you are probably the greatest softball hitter of all times, can you give us a hitting tip?
A hitting tip?
I know this, you didn't have any time to plan this, and I can cut this out if you can, but...
No, I mean, a good hitting tip is you got to step into the box, one, mentally ready. You got to approach it like there's nothing that pitcher's got that you can't hit. And the only way you can do that is by practicing.
Sounds good. Did you have anything that you did when you came up to the plate, like a routine? Or
I constantly would step in the box, draw the same lines on the plate to make sure my feet were in the same position. And I looked at the pitcher, and the last words I ever said before I swing is, there's nothing you got I can't hit.
Sounds like a good way to end it here. Crystal, I appreciate you taking the time to come on with us.
Thank you. We'll see you.
I hope you enjoyed today's interview. As you can see, Gary is a big believer in the NFCA. Make sure and check out their website at nfca.org. Before I close the show, I want to make sure that everyone that watches this show on their iPod or iPhone knows that we have a new iTunes app for you. You can find it at the iTunes App Store. Just search softball and you'll find it. Don't forget to check out our website at fastpitch.tv. Become a fan of the show at facebook.com/fastpitchtv. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/fastpitchtv. Now it's time to say goodbye. Let's end it with a word from our sponsor, Easton Sports, and thanks for watching.
This bat's great pop, nice in the zone, feels good on the hands. The sweet spot is pretty nice. It's not as small as some other bats. Even if you don't hit it exactly on it, the ball still travels as far as it's supposed to.